I am Scott Van Pelt. We'll visit with Joe and Troy in just a moment to get their thoughts on this game. As I mentioned, Baltimore dug an early hole, this Chargers team, a night where we thought we might learn a little bit more about it. They had that big comeback, that big win, I should say, after they lost a big lead against Cincinnati. Harbaugh brothers, so much conversation about this football family. They don't love it, they live it. It's 17-16 into the fourth. It's third goal, the money down, right? You don't want to settle for three, and Baltimore doesn't. I don't know how they initially ruled that an incomplete pass. Mark Andrews pretty clearly has it. Feet are in. Touchdown. They went for two to try to make it a two-score game. Don't get it. This is a huge spot. 3rd and 6. Quentin Johnston, that is right on time, right in his hands. He had a number of drops tonight. Greg Roman up in the booth. That was a big-time moment because Baltimore gets the ball back. Again, it's 3rd down, and not only can the Chargers not get Baltimore off the field, well, actually they do get off the field, but it's because there's a touchdown and an extra point. It's Justice Hill who gets to the end zone, and that pushes the lead to 14. A late touchdown for the Chargers after a bunch of PIs got them down there close, and the final score, once again, Big Brother comes out on top. And we go up to the booth. It's Joe, Buck, and Troy Aikman. And fellas, I thought you made a really great point there towards the end of the game about building culture, right? And Jim's trying to do that here. Baltimore and John Harbaugh, they've built culture. He's been there forever. Did we see that tonight, Joe? Do we see that on a team that's built to absorb some punches, gather themselves, and keep right on swinging?
Talking about which side, Baltimore?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of used to that. I know I've worked with this man for over 20 years, and I know that top to bottom, the organization with the Baltimore Ravens, from ownership to GM, whether it was Ozzie Newsome or Eric DeCosta or whatever, down to John Harbaugh and the way they manage their team, it impresses you. If it impresses you, it impresses me. And I think this is an organization really well run, really well suited to maintain composure when they're down. And, you know, man, they're so varied and they're so tough to stop. And we were reminded of that yet again here tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think, fellas, when we talk about the best teams in the AFC, clearly Baltimore's there. There were the losses, right? 4 of them coming in. And Troy, this was a night where I don't see how you can really afford many more losses. You don't want to screw around and miss the playoffs. This felt like a had-to-have a game. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it is fair to say. I mean, like I said, they got a gift on Thursday night when Pittsburgh lost to Cleveland, and they were able to make up a game after the loss they had to Pittsburgh on that Sunday. So Baltimore, I really like this team. I mean, they're built the right way. But like I said earlier on your pregame show, they've got to be better on the defensive side of the ball than what they've shown in general throughout this season. If the defense can start playing at the level, or at least close to what they were doing last year, this is a team that can go a long way. But we've thought that in other years as well. So they're in that predicament, and all good teams get there, that yeah, you've got to position yourself to get into the postseason and give yourself a chance. But this season is only going to be judged based on what they do in the playoffs. And for them, it doesn't matter about making the playoffs, AFC championship game. They've got to go win a Super Bowl. And that they've got a 2-time league MVP, maybe a 3-time by the time they get into the postseason, and they haven't been able to capitalize on it.
Chargers have a completely different set of circumstances, right? Jim's here. You're trying to change the direction, and this was a night maybe where you find out something about them, and clearly the degree of difficulty has ramped up with their schedule in this game, and certainly against Burrow and Cincinnati, even though they've lost a bunch. How do you view them at all, if differently in any regard, since the Chargers I'm speaking about here? Does this do anything to dent the way you see them?
Does not for me at all. I mean, this was a team coming into the season, as I talked about. They had some cap issues. They had to get rid of some people offensively. They were really going to be shorthanded from where they've been at the skill positions. And I think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman have really done a great job. I think Jesse Minter's done a good job. I like what they're building. And I know this was a big disappointing loss for them, but in no way does this detract from what I think they've done getting to this point, and what I feel they're capable of doing and what they're building.
All right, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving in between now and our trip out to Denver. I look forward to seeing you gentlemen there, all right?
Same to you, Scott.
Yeah,
Thank you
too.